These are
How
the
do
core,
the,
these are
how
the
do
core
the
principles.
alphabets relate to these principles?
Well, the alphabet comes from the principle very simply. If you make a diagram of a vertical line representing Hashem and a horizontal line representing Elohim, representing as above, so below, representing the one and the many, that's a two-dimensional, on a two-dimensional circle, one-dimensional vertical line and a one-dimensional horizontal line. That horizontal line, the many, is actually a one-dimensional circle because it has a radius to the left and a radius to the right. But it's very limited. It's just tit for tat. If we go to the next dimension, such that that horizontal line becomes a circle of fifths, the wheel of karma, the earth plane, there's still a single vertical line, but now the many is a disk. We're on flatland. And on that, what goes around comes around. When we go up another dimension, we have the same single vertical line, and underneath it, spinning around this vertical single center line, is a sphere of possibilities. That's the three-dimensional world we live in, we perceive. If we go up another dimension, we still have only one single vertical line, but now we have a hypersphere, a eTORUS, which consists of 6 of the model hands that generate the letters. So when we take the inverted T that represents the golden rule and the unification of singularity and wholeness, the Shema, and we move it from 1 dimension to 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions to 4 dimensions, it moves from a skeleton, just the tree in the garden, just a line over the line, and it began. And we use our hand to read the text, to pair the letters, to reconstruct the model.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
But it's really just the hand. If we squish our hand back into 2D, we're just going to get the 2 lines.
Right. Let me read a quote that was at the end of the article from the eTORUS, number 50. Understand the kindly and or stern Lord, whose treasure of loving kindness is available to all functions to encourage us to act according to the golden rule, regardless of whether we think simply or deeply. Doesn't that hint at the possibilities we can look at God as a noun as well as a verb?
That's known as paganism and idolatry. That's what Judaism, Christianity, and Islam were founded to stamp out, was the belief that God is a thing like Zeus, an old guy in the sky with a beard that decides everything, that oversees everything, and that you can get to change his opinions by offering sacrifices. All of that is the idolatry of Egypt that the Western traditions are intended to obliterate. But for all intents and purposes, when a person is in trouble and they cry out, they're thinking psychologically, they're not thinking intellectually. You cry out to your Father. The Christian term is your Father in heaven. The idea is you're crying out to whatever higher authority, whatever transcendental force there may be in the universe. Hashem is not picky. It's not a petty demigod. The principle of Hashem Elohim accepts all prayer. So you're not going to be held. It's not going to be held against you if you're mistakenly praying to Zeus. If you're praying with a full open heart, if you believe Zeus is actually real, then the principle is maintained. The Shefatal, like the rain from a thunderstorm, falls on everything: weeds, plants, everything. Good and bad people are empowered by the Shefatal. All choices are empowered by the Shefatal. You put gas in your car, you can drive and rob a bank, or you can drive on a vacation. What you do with that fuel is up to you. So, and God doesn't hold it against people that they're ignorant. It's only their intention that counts. So while a more sophisticated person understands that there isn't any Zeus guy in the sky, there's no Santa Claus, an ordinary person who doesn't get into philosophical issues and lives a simple life does just as well by believing that there is a God in the sky, a Zeus-type God, and acting according to the golden rule. It's acting according to the golden rule that's actually the prayer. That's the resonance with the true living God. If a person is acting on the golden rule, then they're embodying as above, so below. They're embodying Hashem Elohim. I look like I'm a Catholic priest, but pressing somebody here. Well, you see this inverted T on the Pope's hat.
Yes.
Well, that's where they got it from. Also,
Right.
well, we don't have to go into that.
Right.
The point is that God is not a petty God. God is a jealous God in the sense of, if you fear anything but the source of life and death, you're a fool. So if you put fear of the landlord, or fear of losing your job, or fear of your reputation ahead of the source of life in the universe, well, that's just plain stupid. But it's not held against you. God isn't hurt by the fact that you're a fool, because God isn't a thing. God is the process of fueling our consciousness so we can make choices. God is the transcendental Big Bang to Big Sputter, called source to sink. And these are not absolute truths. These are models that can help us to understand how life and how the transcendental realm works. We
Right.
can't ever know God. There's no absolute statement anybody can make. There's no proof here. But in science, what you try to do is make models that match what you experience, so you can test them and they work. These models are testable. They're testable because you can put a water wheel in a waterfall and extract net energy and information. Because you can't put a plant under the sun and give it some water and some soil, and it will grow. And because we can live, and because we can understand that we also stand in an all-inclusive stream of life, of energy, of loving. Some call it loving kindness. Doesn't matter what you call it. It always is the same thing. When we drop our ego, we can fill up with this flow. The metaphor for God's will is water. Again, because it's liquid, it's not a thing. You can't grab water. You can't grab God either.
Right.
But God's will flows like water, and if you go with the flow, then you can flow any place, because the flow flows everywhere.